From the center of the universe, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, this is the SDM Show with your host, Rob Cairns. The SDM Show focuses on business, life, productivity, digital marketing, WordPress, and more. Sit back, relax, grab your favorite drink, and enjoy the show. Here is Rob.
Hey everybody, I'm Rob Cairns. I'm the founder, CEO, and chief creator of Amazing Ideas and Stunning Digital Marketing. In this episode with Copywriting with Todd Jones, Todd and I talk about AI and its use in copywriting. This is one conversation you don't want to miss. Sit back, relax, grab a drink, and enjoy the show. This podcast is sponsored by Stunning Digital Marketing, the agency that can help protect your WordPress website today. Go to stunningdigitalmarketing.com and see what we can do to help you protect your business investment. That's stunningdigitalmarketing.com. Go. Hey everybody, Rob Cairns here. I'm here with my good friend Todd Jones with his segment, Copywriting with Todd Jones, as he puts funny emojis up during the introduction. How are you today, Todd?
You mean I could do this? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Whoa, hello, happy Wednesday.
yeah. At the time of this
Oh yeah,
record.
they have upped their emoji game in Zoom. So yeah, it's yeah, anyways, I'm doing okay. I'm I promise I'm not drunk, but after a few of these calls, you start to get a little bit, I don't know,
Punchy,
oh,
punchy.
relaxed maybe. But anyway, I'm doing okay. I'm hanging in there.
So what I thought we'd talk about today, I know we've talked about the two dreaded words in marketing, AI. So we need to kind of revisit it. And what I thought we'd do today is not get into how to use AI, but more how you use AI as a tool. Because I personally believe AI is here to stay. I believe it's what's driving computing more than anything else in the last 10 years. But I also think it's a tool. So where would you like to start, Mr. Jones?
Now, let's just be clear. You're talking about using AI as a tool for copywriting.
I am. That is correct.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you gotta address it somehow, right? You're a copywriter, and usually there's one of two reactions from copywriter friends. It's like, yeah, I'm using it. This is what I do. Blah blah blah. And the other side is, I hate it. It's terrible. Don't need to do it. And then there's usually a hybrid somewhere in the middle. But most of the best copywriters, I think, have realized it is a tool that can be used. But I think, as with anything, it comes down to how you use the tool,
Yes.
right? And so I think the last thing you want to do is just say, "Hey, write a homepage about blah 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 blah." Um, I when I work with AI, especially on like copy or something like that, it's almost a running conversation I have with the chat. Why? Because I'm trying to get it to understand what I want it to do. And sometimes it doesn't come across the first time. I don't think you should ever have, this is me personally, um, unless you have a well refined prompt. And I think prompt is a bad name for it. But
Yeah.
let's use an example. Okay. I'm gonna go to the world of electricity. When you come in this room, first thing I do is turn on a light. How do I do that? There's a switch over there. You flip the switch and the lights come on most of the time, hopefully. They did today, so we have light. I think most people see technology as flipping a switch. And you know as well as I do, because we're concierge in the digital space, right? That sometimes tech can be pretty simple, right? But most of the time it's not. Sometimes you have to try multiple times. You have to work at something. Somebody will go to the trouble of building something that has a lot of code, and then they'll flip the switch, so to speak, to test it, and something won't work. What do they do then? The word we use is debugging. They'll they'll go debug the code, right? Or if you've got connections, You'll maybe look at the connections, So using AI for something like that is very similar. I will hear people say, well, what you should do is go, give them a scenario. Okay, I'm writing an email, and this is my my customer base, and this is what I want to write about, and I want to write in the tone, or I want to write like Ben Settle. Not going to work very well. I actually tried that one time. It was like it was exaggerated Ben Settle. Like Ben would never say that. You're saying something he might say, and like taking it and turning it into a cartoon, like just completely blowing up. So I don't think you should write like somebody personally, because I don't think when you write content, you should be mimicking someone else. You should be yourself. That's me personally. So when it comes to, let's just use an article, for example. Say you're going to write an article. It's going to be 1,000 to 1,200 words long. What usually do you have in an article? You usually have an introduction, right? You might have 2 or 3, 4 to 5 points. So you have the points, and then you have a conclusion. So there's 5 things you have to deal with right there. At least 5 things you have to deal with. Each one of them, you almost got to prompt how to do what you wanted to do. I was in a live a while ago, and they were talking about using AI for brainstorming, and they're like, oh, I don't use AI for brainstorming because, essentially I like what I think better. And when you talk about brainstorming, sometimes I will use AI, but not always do I use the choices AI gives me. But what AI will do, because this is how the human brain works, will spark in me something that was already there that wasn't at the front of my head. It's just like when you go mow the lawn and you think of something just brilliant, or you take a shower, or you do some mundane task. Yeah, go for a walk. The most brilliant idea comes to your head. It just kind of works its way up. So AI, who starts spitting out all these different, generative AI, I should say, starts spitting out all these different ideas at you. You may not choose the idea, but it may pull something out from the back of your head that was there already, but you weren't thinking about. And so I like that in the brainstorming. But when you do copy on a page, I have said this before, and I'll say it again. Copywriting, website copy, content, and writing an article, whatever, it's like assembling blocks. It's like a Lego structure. You're assembling blocks. Each block has its own part to play. And so you can't, I don't think, because essentially writing an article is essentially, I tried to do I tell you what I did do one time. I have these frameworks for web copy pages because I have the website copy framework. And I said, okay, here is my framework. All right. And I want to do a page using this framework. And this is the ideal client, the target audience. Here's the value proposition, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't too robust, but it was enough to give it something. Well, it started writing it, but it did not completely follow my outline. And I realized then that that's too much to ask for the generative AI. Now, I'm always using free, so the pros may be a lot better. I don't know. But it's too much to ask the generative AI to do at one time. So my thought is, if you're going to do this, take it bit by bit. Each one is a prompt. Okay, these are the things I need. A unique value proposition. Boom. Okay, here's a unique value proposition. Log it, have an open document, put it over there. Okay, this is my target audience. Give some information about target audience, and with AI, maybe come up with some pain points and stuff like that. Then log that, put it over to the side. If you keep this in the same chat, it remembers it, right? Especially Chat GPT, memory updated. Okay, next section. Okay, in light of this, I need a headline for this page. Okay, let it do the headline. Don't like the headline, ask it to redo it or give you some options. At that point, Rob, you've only done the headline, and that took about 3 or 4 prompts. You may like what it comes up with, you may not, but it may give you an idea that you can use. And so it's always take it bit by bit. So I generally like my own outlines, but once in a while I'll ask it for help for an outline with the theme and the idea. And sometimes I'll use the outline or parts of the outline and do my own. That's if I'm stuck. Usually have my own idea. I don't always like what it says or how it says it. AI tends to use certain words over and over, like delve. We're going to delve into it. What I do understand, I don't have the pro version of ChatGPT, but I understand you can tell it, you can even put it in the memory bank not to use certain AI words that AI uses a lot. That helps. That can help.
Yep.
If you have Pro Chat GPT, you can do a whole lot of stuff. Now, you can use it for other marketing tasks. We're only talking about copywriting.
Yeah, that's good.
So, obviously, Ross Simmons has got a whole prompt, product that you bought on Gumroad. That's if you're struggling, that would be a great place to start. Andy Crestodina has done some really good stuff with marketing tasks using ChatGPT. But the reality is when you do copywriting, you're not just spitting words out. There's a whole lot of other stuff involved in copywriting, which takes into account the whole marketing funnel. So ChatGPT or Gemini or Perplexity, or one I like to play with sometimes is U.com, which has like 5 chat engines.
Copilot. It's almost like
Copilot.
Choose one.
Yeah.
You and I
Claude.
were.
I tell you what I did do the other day, and this is not really copywriting per se, but it kind of is. I wanted to make an image of me dressed like the Lone Ranger, and not the Army Hammer one from the movie a few years ago. More like Clayton Moore back in the 60s. Okay. So I went to Perplexity because Perplexity does a good job of sourcing information, like they tell you where it comes from, whatever. And I said, this is what I want. I'm drawing from the Clayton Moore Lone Ranger, and I need to create a description to give to an AI, which in this case is Artflow, to create this image. And with the help of Perplexity, we kind of narrowed it down, the things that I needed. And I went over there and I put it in Artflow. What you do is I have my image already in there. So you make a dynamic picture of Todd Jones and blah, 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 blah. And the first one wasn't that great. I kind of redid it and it turned out okay. I was actually pretty impressed. It was kind of a modern day Lone Ranger with the face of Todd. So one of the things I struggle with sometimes is to do images, because we have images. We have a lot of software, AI software that will do images, is describing the image well enough for the AI image software to produce the image I want. And so sometimes I will use a generative AI to help me come up. I did that with the Algo Gods. You remember the Algo Gods?
I do.
I have the villain I have is a group of lizard looking characters called the Algo Gods. And I can't remember which software I use for that one. But and by the way, Microsoft has a really good image generating software. I think that's where I use it from. I think it's called Microsoft Designer or something like that.
Yeah, they do.
So there's various parts, and then of course you're struggling to come up with the alt text, although that really shouldn't be too hard, and I don't know if it can help you unless you have a paid version where you can upload it and let it describe the scene. But there's a lot of ways you can use it to assist you. I do think that we should probably be better about providing alt text for images because of accessibility.
Let's stop there. Let's stop there for a sec. It's worth sharing. I was reading LinkedIn this week, and our mutual friend, Mr. Andrew Palmer, who is a partner in Aderim, and Aderim's got a new product or a new component to their product that generates all text for images. And Andrew was pushing that. I actually hope that goes over really well, because I don't know how many websites I look at and people say to me, as somebody who audits websites, I have a problem getting traffic. And then they've got an e-commerce site with 500 images, Todd.
Yep.
And you
No
know how
alt
many of
text.
those images have alt text? Take a guess.
10%, 5%. Yeah, none.
2%,
Yeah.
1%.
Yeah,
And then they look
exactly.
at, and then they wonder why it takes forever to fix it. Because to fix 500 images, whether you use AI or not, it's
Oh
still a
yeah.
massive job.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's yeah. And well,
Right.
if 50% of those images are your products, you definitely want to use alt images, alt tags for that to describe the product. So
You
yeah,
should be
absolutely.
using an alt tag on every image.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And our friend Ryan had shared a video from a colleague of his, a video on LinkedIn, and he was saying, and he's right, and these days you use WordPress, it'll have a red line saying, do you need to add a alt image to your, alt text to
Yeah.
your image? It is a field now, and that's a brilliant thing that that has been added into the WordPress workflow, as we try to create more accessibility. Uh,
But
but that is
but let's be fair, accessibility is good for SEO too. So they go kind of hand in hand. Like, let's be honest here.
user experience, and
Yep.
and yeah, all of it. Yeah, good user experience is good for Google and Bing. So yeah, that's what they're moving towards for sure. But um, anyway, there are so many aspects to copywriting. Um, I'll tell you another way you can use AI for copywriting that maybe people don't think about as much. Actually, is go back to my article about 5 things I learned about storytelling from pro wrestling. Um, I was explaining to a lady I was on her show the other day. I said some of those, it took a while to write that. It was like 2,700 words. I didn't mean for it to be so long, but that's what happens. I said I took my phone and actually narrated some of those points. So what
Yep.
did I do? I uploaded the audio
Mhm.
into Microsoft Word or whatever it's called, that Office suite, pulled the
Office,
transcript.
Microsoft 365, as
Yep.
it's now
Yep.
called.
Pulled the transcript. Then I dropped it in Chat GPT or whatever and got it to help me clean it up without losing any of the meaning. Formatted a little better, make sure there's no, mistakes in there, whatever, and then dropped it into the article. It is beautiful for, because sometimes, we have in our brain, but we can't type fast enough to pull it out, right?
Yep.
So do an audio version of yourself speaking, and Chat GPT or whatever can help clean that up and really expedite that process. You still need to get the transcript. Now, a lot of AI will do that. I'll tell you another thing I did. I had a phone call with somebody a few weeks ago, and I had forgotten that I had this AI thing that couldn't even tell you the name of it right now, but I had connected it to my Google account. So we were on Google Meet. Well, the darn thing took the whole meeting and did a summary, and I could like ask it to do, like it would tell you, okay, this is what Todd's supposed to do, this is what this person's supposed. I mean, it was like, and there's AI included in Zoom now,
No, an
so
AI
those
companion.
are
Yeah.
those will basically take notes for you. And so I think these days there's so much you can do to repurpose content using AI. That's another way. If somebody was listening to this and took the transcript, I'm thinking of this stuff on the fly, but literally you could take this and turn it into an article. Another way you can use AI is what I just said that I lost in my head. Yeah, repurpose content. And I do that a lot sometimes. I have gotten Chat GPT to help me do a whole Twitter thread. Now, sometimes it misses and gets them wrong.
And sometimes it doesn't.
you can use AI to repurpose content in various ways. So you'll start seeing it more with video and audio. Well, you already are, but I'm not crazy about the video. Like I can upload my face and create a video. I did that once, and it was just too creepy. It didn't look right. So I know there's some better ones out there because I've seen Ross Simmons experiment with it. I'm not, crazy about that part yet, but certainly there's some things that it can speed up the process that you're doing. And all this is under copywriting, right? It's all content marketing, whatever. So yeah, there's multiple ways to use it to assist you. I am not a fan of just letting it loose to write like an article or a whole web page.
Nor am I.
Now, if you have a really simple article or a simple web page that like you don't have enough information, as much as you would like, go ahead and let it loose and then put it in a Google document and start working through it and change what you want to change, add what you want to change. It's a great starting point for something like that.
It is, no question.
It's like having a virtual assistant at your fingertips.
So true. Hey, Todd, thanks for sharing your thoughts about using AI in tandem. I think what people need to realize, just to kind of summarize, is it's a bit of a tool, right? And all these people getting antsy about job loss and everything else. My argument to them is it's a tool. And the reality of it is, I don't think the tool is going to cost jobs. What it's going to do is redirect people into doing different things and learning how to use that tool. And, a lot of people thought AI was a fad. I don't think AI is going away.
No, it's not a fad. It's not a fad at all.
They're now building computers optimized with new processing chips to deal with AI and the power AI. And the one thing I always say to people is, how much memory should they get in a computer? And I'm now of the point of view that maybe you need to put like 32 gigs of RAM or 64 gigs in a Windows PC because of AI. I mean, that's a big factor. It's a bit of a resource hog. So, but it's a tool. I think your best bet is to choose one flavor. I'm in with Bard right now. People are using ChatGPT. Like, choose one and get used to the tool and optimize it and make it work for you, right?
Yeah, just go in and play with it. You're like, okay, I'm gonna try to do this and see what happens. And there's some people out there who put out some resources already that can be helpful for a starting point. You can say, I'm gonna see if I can do this. I mean, people have taken like CSV files and had ChatGPT to rearrange it based on certain parameters. I mean, it's astonishing some of the stuff you can do. Yeah.
So thanks, Todd. Somebody wants to find out about your copywriting business. Where's the best way?
Copyflight.com.
Go see Todd. Look at his website, Copy Framework. It's a great product. He'll get you started. And have a good day, my friend. Be well.
Thank you.
This show is brought to you by StunningDigitalMarketing.com, your Toronto leader in digital marketing services. Not only do we protect your WordPress website, we can help you with your site, provide social media management for your business, or even do one-on-one consulting. To find out more, go to StunningDigitalMarketing.com. A very special thank you to Todd Jones for joining me on this episode of the SDM Show. This podcast is dedicated to my late father, Bruce Cairns. Dad, I miss you very much. I love you, and I think about you every day. For more information about Stunning Digital Marketing, your digital marketing experts, go to StunningDigitalMarketing.com or go to StunningDigitalMarketing.info to find out all the great places that Rob Cairns can be found on the web.